Uall. This is E-Man Booze. You know I love my moonshine. Yes, indeed. And we got some good ones for you here this evening. But you know, moonshine might just be the most, or one of the most misunderstood of all spirits that are out there. In fact, a lot of times when I'm in the liquor store talking to people about moonshine, I get stuff like this. I'll go blind if I drink that moonshine. No, you won't. You got less of a chance going blind drinking commercially made moonshine than you would drinking any moonshine out of the woods. Or I get this one. Well, it's so strong, I'm going to have a headache for days. It ain't as strong as a lot of the stuff that comes out of the backwoods. In fact, most commercially made moonshine's only 80 to 100 proof. Some of the stuff in the woods can be stronger. It's true, but the big deal with the hangover and headaches and all that stuff is if you drink too much, you're going to feel it the next day. That's just common sense. But we also get stuff like this. Well, that's not like the backwoods stuff at all. And it could be. It's all how it's made. In fact, you have a chance of getting greater consistency with commercially made moonshine than you ever could making it out in the woods. So, moonshine is here to stay, commercially available, the legal stuff. The illegal stuff's probably going to dwindle as time goes on, as the police get smarter and start busting these guys. So if you like moonshine, and you like the authentic taste of moonshine, you got to give the commercial varieties a chance. Now, this here Hanging Dog moonshine from Wayne Nix, and this here apple pie, these are great examples of well-made commercial moonshine. As a matter of fact, Wayne Nix hails from the Discovery Channel's Moonshiner series. You may remember him. Let me show you a picture of what old Wayne looks like here. I'm sure you'll remember if you watched the TV show. Here, a picture of Wayne right here. So he was in season 3 of Moonshiners. He got his car all blew up and everything else. That was a crazy season, but a good one. But let me tell you, where Wayne hails from, and the story behind the name for Hanging Dog Moonshine, is from a small community called Hanging Dog Creek, which is near Murphy, North Carolina, in the southwest corner of the state, up in the mountains. And when Wayne grew up, he had a lot of access to all kinds of moonshine, as you could imagine. But he just decided one day he wanted to make moonshine. His family comes from some moonshiners. And so he got himself together a plan to get this stuff on the market here. And he works with Broadslab Distillery. Now, if you remember, Broadslab Distillery out of Benson, North Carolina, and we reviewed this here moonshine about 2 years ago now. They make some phenomenal moonshine. So using their equipment and master distiller over there, Jeremy Norris, they're able to take Wayne's recipe and get it made to Wayne's standards. And let's get into it a little bit, and maybe I should just shut the hell up and let's get into it, and we'll tell you how it's made. Let's open it up here and wait a minute. I can't use a glass of moonshine. Okay, so now we're going to nose this thing up a little bit. Ooh, I can smell it jumping out the jar already. How's it made? How's it made, you may wonder? Well, Wayne has a recipe, and it tells you right here on the bottle, it's 33% grain and 67% cane sugar. Actually, all he uses is corn and cane sugar, and yeast and water, of course. So the corn is grown on Jeremy's property at where the Broadslab Distillery is. So Jeremy gets the corn and gets it all ground up and mixed up with water. They add yeast to it, and it ferments. Takes 5 to 7 days to ferment, and then they throw it in the still. And a couple hours later, 5, 6 hours later, you got yourself some moonshine here. So let's nose her up and see what she's all about. It smells just like the backwoods stuff, baby. I'm telling you. Got that backwoods smell. And this is what I love. You don't get a lot of commercial distilled moonshine that really does have the backwoods profile to it. That's what I like about this here. Let's take a nip of it. That's got some good flavor. It's sweet. You get some of the sugar cane flavor. You pick up the corn notes. Nice little peppery bite in there too. Smooth though, very, very smooth. I like the mouthfeel of the spirit. It is 90 proof here. And I think it's a good strength for the mix of the ingredients. You wouldn't want it too much more hotter than this, because this is super smooth right here. I could drink this. I could probably drink half this jar in 10 minutes. That is absolutely delicious. I wish they had this in my state, because I would certainly buy it. This is right up there with some of the greats, like the Broadslabs and the Climaxes and the Dark Corner Distillery Moonshines. This is right up there. Right up there. True, authentic, as Wayne says. What does he say here? He says, this is the authentic hillbilly moonshine flavor. About as close to the backwoods as you get. And I have to agree that he definitely accomplished that real backwoods taste. Now he also got another one here, and this is the apple pie moonshine. Check it out. He even signed the jars for me here. That's pretty nice of him. But let's get into this one and see what she's about. Smelled just like a slice of Mama's homemade apple pie. Get the cinnamon notes and the apple. Mmm. 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 This is what I love about this. Cinnamon not so bold that's blowing your brains out. Some of these apple pie moonshines, they're so cinnamony, whatever you call it. They just so hot, your mouth's on fire, and it just overwhelms your senses. It overwhelms your palate. This has enough cinnamon to intrigue you, but you taste the apple behind it. And the way this is made here, Jeremy told me, Wayne told me actually, Jeremy gets all the apple juice together, heats it up and dissolves a little bit of sugar and a certain amount of cinnamon in there. And then when it's all simmered at the right consistency and potency for the spice now, then all they do is they add this stuff to it. Simple. It's how they make it in the mountains when they want apple pie. They just take regular old moonshine and add it to an apple juice cinnamon mixture. That's it. Pretty simple. Now this will go great in some cocktails, and we're going to be making some in the next couple of weeks here. And I hope to have them up on my new website, which is coming, that I'll tell you about here in days to come. Now, where do you find Hanging Dog Moonshine? Well, if you're lucky enough and you live in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, or Tennessee, you can get it. Elsewhere, you might have to look on the internet, and I know Wayne's trying to work on finding himself an internet shipper. But you can learn a lot about this at hangingdogmoonshine.com, so you can check that out. And you know, we didn't talk about this, but Hanging Dog, it's this little community, Hanging Dog Creek, and it got its name for an Indian a Cherokee Indian who was hunting deer with his dog. And he shot the deer, and the deer jumped through the stream, through the creek, to get away. And the dog was following him, and the rapids was kind of big that day, or you know, rolling. And the dog got stuck in some muscadine grapevines, and the Indian had to save him. And the Indian came back to the village and said, "Why the dog all wet?" Well, because he was getting hung by the briar patch in the creek there, and that's how the little community of Hanging Dog Creek got its name. So a lot of lore and history there, and Wayne loves history, and I think he's been a good student of history to really understand what it takes to put a really good moonshine in a bottle, and he succeeded at it. Check him out on the internet, hangingdogmoonshine.com. Check me out on the internet. I'm E-Man Booze. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, MainStreetDistilleries.com, and a couple new ones coming up here soon. Get yourself some of this great moonshine if you're down in the South. Bye, you all.